Happy Wednesday, everybody. This is Leah and Ryan from featherselitepigeonauctions.com here with your first Wednesday live with Ryan and friends. Ryan, I'm going to send it over to you. Make sure we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Go ahead, Ryan.
Welcome to all. Yes, this is a new show, a new platform, a new way to keep you guys informed with what we are doing here at Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. And yes, it's Ryan and friends every week. Before we get into that, I'm going to say, hey, welcome. Thank you for flying with us. Please, again, on our YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe. That is the best way to give us a tip is by subscribing to our page and sharing our page and promoting this great sport that we're all in. And for new people, welcome. Leah, welcome.
Welcome all. And we are live. Awesome. I'm going to put up the comments. Want to say hello to everybody joining us on this Wednesday, wherever you are watching from in the world. You know what would be great? If we could kick this show off, let's find out where everybody's from. So, guys, when you put in your hellos and your greetings, let us know where you are watching from. Brian Mansker, nice to see some Pioneer friends on. He says, great background. Thank you very much. We've got Barney Floyd Johnson watching from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Of course, everybody's favorite cheer squad captain, Tracy's in the house. Nice to see you on. All right, I'm going to go through the comments here and just put your hellos up on the board. Why did we decide to do this, Ryan? This new little weekly Feathers Elite show.
Well, because it's quite simple. Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, we're not just an auction site. Yes, we do great auctions. We have great breeders. We represent great pigeons. But we want to keep you guys up to date with the breeders that we represent, have it be new breeders coming on or breeders that we have worked with through the past years. This is a big time of their season. It's a very important time because the reason why we auction off their pigeons is because their pigeons are great and they get great results. And we want to show you the results. We want to bring breeders on to talk with them, to discuss how their seasons are going, get little tips from them, and keep you guys informed and give you guys the opportunity to talk with these breeders and ask them questions. So, again, as we always say, this show works best when you participate, when you ask the questions, when you say hello, put where you're from, ask a question, don't be shy. We're here to help.
Want to say hello and welcome to THC Reefer over on YouTube. He says, I am a new fancier. He or she, not sure yet if it's a man or a woman, but THC Reefer says, I am a new fancier. Don't even have a pigeon yet, but I do have a nice loft build, and I am from Ohio. Nice to see you on THC Reefer. Feathers Elite family, if you are watching. Let's give THC Reefer a big welcome to the family. Great to see some new people getting involved in the sport. We hope you stick along with us. We'd love to hear about your journey in the pigeon world starting out. We're going to talk about pigeons. We're going to answer questions about pigeons. This week, it's usually Ryan and friends. This week, I'm Ryan's only friend because this is just a kickoff show just to kind of explain to you guys how we're going to do this. We're going to do this every Wednesday. Next week, we will have a Feathers Elite auction breeder on to talk to us and to answer your questions. Should we say who we're going to have on next week, or we're going to leave that a surprise? I think we should leave it a surprise.
Yeah, we're going to leave it a surprise. What we'll probably do is on our family shows, we'll unleash who this week's breeder is going to be. That way, it gives you guys a little bit of time if you want to take a look at one of the loft tour videos that we have done, where you are able to, hey, catch up, maybe see something and say, hey, I had a question about this, or I have a question about that. And you can ask the breeder. Again, the breeders will all be on live with us. And the reason why we've chosen this time slot is so we can accommodate our European breeders, and sometimes there will be American breeders on. You have to stay tuned.
That is correct. Just giving everybody their little comment show here. Guys, Ryan's been back now just a little less than 2 weeks. A little less. I think it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow that he's back home. And he kind of left abruptly. He sort of had to come home at a certain time and didn't really get to do a proper kind of a wrap up, answer your guys' questions. if you had any about the tour, if you had any about the breeders that we represented throughout the tour, if you maybe you have questions about upcoming auctions, what we're doing moving forward. I know Ryan, one of the greatest parts of your trip, or I think one, there's so many great parts about your trip, but I did notice a part that you really enjoyed is connecting with people. At the end of the day, you would take the camera, you'd go for a walk, whether it's on the street in the middle of the night or in your hotel room. And I really enjoyed seeing the interaction between you and our client, our people watching, fans, friends, whatever, you guys, the audience. I really thought that some of the best conversations came out of those little one-on-one conversations that you had with people online. And this is why we thought this would be a great way for us to come together once a week, as a family, as a unit, and just talk pigeons, because we do it over at the
Yeah.
Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club, and we do that Monday nights at 8 o'clock, where we all get together and talk pigeons, and we have a great time. And this show is going to be similar, but we're going to bring some guests, some of our breeders on. They're going to come on once a week. We're going to check in with them, see how the race season's going. They're going to give us some tips. We're going to, just talk, get to know everybody. Let's create a supportive community, because we know pigeon racing is tough, isn't it? It's tough. It's
You,
tough.
you know, the one thing I will say is, with all the breeders that we represent, they're very easygoing people. They like to see people succeed. Of course, they like to see people succeed with their own birds, but overall, these people, they're at such a high level that they like to hear, hey, you tried this from them and it works. They love to hear stuff like that. And they're just nice to talk to. I mean, going to each of these breeders' homes, I would go in and literally it was like we were friends. It just worked easy. It was easy going. They gave me their best. I gave our best as Feathers Elite, and we worked together, and it was seamless. And when I did the videos, the loft tour videos, I always love to do those live, but I find you kind of take a bit away when you do the live because I can't concentrate as much. Um, and that's why I like to do the lives with them. I think for next year, I'm going to do a little bit more lives with them, maybe have some set times. But this is sort of why we're doing this, so you guys can talk with them a little bit more, and you know, and not be afraid to ask a question when you're on this show. As long as you're polite and cool and nice, ask a good question. Don't ask the same questions, but fire those questions in, and you're going to get some good responses.
Speaking of questions, Les Gerard from Facebook asked, if you buy a pigeon from Belgium, can you race them in the UK?
I would assume you can. I know people have done that. I know people have gone to the Lear market and they buy pigeons and they take them to the UK. I don't know if you have to register the rings in the UK. I don't know what those rules are. You have to find out with your organization. But I believe you can.
Perhaps if somebody is watching from the UK and knows what the rules are with regards to importing maybe youngsters from Belgium into the UK and then racing them as your own, maybe somebody could chime in and let us know what the rules are. As you guys know, we're in North America, not 100% sure what the rules are over there, but maybe somebody else could chime in. Michael Peebler, nice to see you on. Christmas Cactus, nice to see you. It's always nice to see familiar faces here when I'm going through the comments. Fepa, you're on top of the game. We all appreciate your hard work for us all. Thank you. Thank you guys, because you guys are the ones that make this possible. Without you guys, there is no Feathers Elite. If you guys aren't watching, if you guys aren't liking, if you're not tuning in, if you're not buying the pigeons, if you're not interested, we have no Feathers Elite. So we want to thank you guys. And really, from the bottom of our heart, we did not, going into this tour, um, in February, we had no idea what we were walking into. We had no idea what we were in for. We didn't know how it was going to go. To be honest, up until maybe 4 days before Ryan left, we were considering not even going, because we weren't sure if you guys were going to be receptive. We didn't know how the travel was going to be, how we were going to be able to put it all together in such a short space of time. But wow, we did it, and I'm not kidding you. It was by far the best experience I think, that we have had in the 4 seasons of doing auctions. I could not have made it go any better. The breeders were amazing, amazing. They were so welcoming to Ryan. They were so helpful to him. Anything he needed, if he got stuck, if he, I know an instance, May Pigeons. Ryan was there. I think May Pigeons was your second stop, second stop. We had issues with our light bulb taking the photos, as I'm sure you guys saw. Ryan had to take the photos in the hotel rooms. We had an issue with the light bulb. Ryan broke it, or it wasn't working, or whatever. May Pigeons went out of his way to find Ryan a light bulb. May Pigeons, they never met Ryan. They didn't know Ryan from nobody. Just somebody, that we had made this arrangement ahead of time, but really over and above. And I can use example after example um, of the breeders that just showed unbelievable humanity and respect and hard work. All the hard work that Ryan did, the breeders did just that, just as much. I mean, really, they really gave. I can't be more prouder. It was an amazing experience, and I was here. I can't even imagine what it was like for you, Ryan. Have you caught up on your sleep yet?
Yeah, it was pretty incredible to see people coming together and helping out and going the distance and really even selecting the pigeons to the level that they selected them at. Very impressed. Again, very, very late in the season, and they pulled out some absolute uh, phenomenal pigeons. And right when the racing season started, the people were still allowing us to come in, still allowing us to film, and just giving us those extras. I mean, again, I have to thank May Pigeons for grabbing me that light bulb. That saved me big time. And then I have to thank a guy that eventually we're going to do some work with is Valgi Pigeons. He's a photographer. I messaged him and he let me come over and he gave me a light bulb. Now, I didn't have the equipment for his light, but he still took me in and helped me out. Those things you never forget. And people telling me where the liberations were or inviting me to the parties. And when you go to the parties, they make you feel a part of it. Look at the Normans. Uh, they paid for my ticket to go to their awards. Every breeder went up and above, and it was phenomenal. I would have, if I had a bit more time, I would have loved to have done a farewell dinner and invited everyone to that dinner. Maybe that'll be something we do next year. Um, but what a great time! It was the hardest thing I had ever done.
Ditto.
it was
Ditto.
a hard. And for everyone that said, "Well, Ryan was on a vacation," I'm going to tell you, I was never on the European time zone. I had to be on two time zones, and you can ask Leah, and you can hear the felines there in the background.
She wants attention.
Sometimes I would go to bed at 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. European time, which is 12 a.m. Canadian time. I go to sleep for 2 hours to get up for the free breakfast, and then have to be at a breeder's house at 10 in the morning. There, just know you went no sleep. You're trying to get a computer to upload. You're trying to take photos. You're trying to edit stuff to the best that I can. And again, Leah did the same thing. It was like 20 hours a day.
But it
So
was what it was well worth it. It's really invigorated. I think it's lit a little fire under our butt, and really a change of scenery for us. It really did us well, I think, and really got us excited again about auctioning off pigeons and working with breeders, and excited what the future is going to bring for us. And I can't thank those breeders enough for doing that. It came at a time when we really needed it. We really needed that little boost of confidence, or that little boost of confidence. And that's what they gave us. That's what this tour gave us. And I can't thank them enough for it. Anyway, we're going to get to the comments and the questions. Guys, if you have questions about the tour, about pigeon racing, about any of our breeders, you name it, we're going to talk about it. So don't be shy. This show works best when we're all interactive. Christmas Cactus, Ryan, when are you able to bring the Sapin pigeons back to Canada? Great question.
Yeah, we've since we've been back, we've been working with the CFIA and we've been talking with Europe with a certain quarantine for bringing birds in. We have to, from where the birds are coming from, we have to see a sample of the paperwork. We have to take it to our CFIA. That's our Canadian Food Inspection Agency. They have to look over the paperwork to make sure it's approved. They're going to sign it. We want to take it to the CFIA airport vet as well and get him to sign off on it. I would rather take my time and bring them in and be safe. I'm going to go a little slower here. I want to get the birds in successfully instead of jumping the gun, skipping a step, and having paperwork not right. Guys, all I ask is be patient. We will get the birds in. There's no problems. But we just have to take our time and get them in. We're not going to breed from them now. I understand that. Trust me. I know. I want you guys to get your birds. I want you guys to see what you've purchased. I think you're going to love them. And yes, once we have everything, paperwork stamped, everything good to go, the people that have purchased the pigeons, you are going to get an email from us and we are going to keep you on track. We're going to let you know when the birds start quarantine. We're going to let you know when the pigeons come in. We're going to let you know that. And yes, we're going to keep you updated so you can see your pigeons and you follow along. And again, going to get the birds to you with success. Remember, our job here is to make this go easy, painlessly, and professionally and properly. And that's what we're going to do.
That's right. And people might ask, well, how come you have to do all this checking? Haven't you done imports before? Yes, we've done importing for the last, I don't even know how many years. Ryan, how many years have you been importing pigeons? 7 years, 8 years, something like that? I don't know, a long time. And it's not that we don't know what we're doing. It's just that the CFIA, the Canadian government, they have done a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of tightening screws as far as when the rules and regulations and how they're written and how they're interpreted. And we're just trying to make sure that our paperwork is complies with their new regulations. And for anybody who's ever worked with the government, you know sometimes that process can be painful. So we are on it, and we will let you guys know as soon as we are ready to bring the birds over. Let me get to the questions. Michael Peebler's got a good one. What was Ryan's first meal that he asked Mom Nancy to cook for him? Yeah, what'd you eat when you came back?
Well, here at our house, I like to do a lot of the cooking. My mom is a great cook. Loft manager Richard, he has a hard time putting together a peanut butter and jam sandwich. Cooking is not his thing. So when I came home, I will be honest, we had chicken wings, and how I do them is I made the dinner. We came back, I cooked. We did chicken wings. I like to deep fry them. I don't batter them. I flour and cornstarch them. I fry them. I take them off the grill. I sauce them, and then I put them onto about a 700-degree barbecue. I char-pit them, throw them back in the sauce, and we had French fries, mayo, and chicken wings and blue cheese dressing. That was the dinner that I had when I got back.
Pure American food, pure North
And I
American food. Fries,
and I
wings, and
and
you
I
made
made
it.
it.
There you go. ABC Loft, Stan the Man. Are you still going to contact USA Breeders for the one loft race? Yes, we are. I know we've been keep saying it over and over again, but Ryan, I know this
Yeah.
isn't going to be specifically about the one loft race, but I do want to answer this question for our good friend Stan the Man. So go ahead.
We're getting all our ducks in a row on that certificate. I will be contacting all of you today, tomorrow. I'm going to need, for people watching, all of your ring numbers properly written down. So your ring number says AU 16842. I need AU 16842. You send me a list of your band numbers. That's what I'm gonna call each one of you or message each one of you and say, I need your ring numbers. I need your ring numbers. And that's what I'm going to say. When I get the ring numbers, I'm then going to give you the date to when I want you to put them in the post or put them on the airline, etc.
Ryan will be contacting you. Not to worry, not to worry. Melvin Horn, hi, love your show and loft visits. Kind regards. Melvin from England. Hey, and fun fact here. as I see Melvin's comment come up, but you guys might be interested to know this. So on YouTube, you're able to see stats like who's watching, who's the biggest fans, who spends the most time watching your content. And Melvin, I want to thank everybody from the UK because our friends in the UK, believe it or not, are our biggest followers, supporters, subscribers, and watchers. Isn't that awesome? And we just started
Yeah,
over there. And there are most we have the most amount of viewers from the UK. Amazing. Well done, UK.
yeah.
UK. Round of applause.
It's excellent. I mean, going to the UK was it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of different racing there. A lot of different. It's a total different beast than in Belgium. I think, and again, I had so many people ask me. This was the number one question, Leah. Okay, well, what are the best birds? What's your favorite loft? What is this? And you know, I think when you get to that elite level of breeders, you climb up to the top, right? You're going to find the elite breeders all over. When you hit them, you just know. I mean, how can I say that, Luke Vandenplot isn't as good as Formula One? They're at a top level, right? How do you? I can't say, well, go with this or go with that. I couldn't pick. It's like picking children. How do you do it? They're each great, and you have to find out what you like about the people, or what you like in a pedigree. But the quality, the confirmation of birds, and the people themselves, I recommend contact them. You'll enjoy all of them. You really will.
And I think this is another reason why we wanted to start to do this weekly show. Another thing that a lot of people have said is these breeders that we work with, these top level breeders, so many people, regular people like you or I or Ryan, have said to us, I've seen them at shows, I've seen them at races, or I've seen them out and about, and I'm just intimidated. I don't know, something like I feel shy to go up and talk to these people. People like Xavier Verstrada or Emil Denny or Anime Vinci or any of them. People have said to you, I would love to talk to him, but I feel a little shy to go up to him. Guys, that's why we're here, okay? Because Ryan, he's not afraid. He's not shy of anybody. He'll talk to anybody. But we really want to make that experience between you guys and these top breeders over there. We want you to get to know them. We want you to know them. We want you to know how they think and their thoughts and how they train and how they feed and not be afraid to reach out to them. And that's why we're going to have them on, a different one on once a week. So we can have this open forum and talk to them openly and not be afraid. They're just like regular people. They put their pants on the same way that we do. They're super people and absolutely nothing to be worried about. And if you are out there at a show and you do see them, don't ever feel shy. They like it. They want you to come up. They enjoy it. They love to talk to people. Um, they love it. So yeah, don't ever be shy. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
We have a question here from YouTube. I'm going to try and figure out what we're asking. Can I stop mating birds that year I am asked HAMA damage occurs or not? Can I
I got.
stop mating birds? Can I stop? I'm not quite sure. What do you think he's asking?
I have no clue, but it was a good try. Try and ask the question again. If somebody understands what he's writing, you ask the question. I don't know. I don't know.
Don Meredith
Van
says Van He and Emil Denny's for me. Guys, yeah, let us know. People always ask Ryan, who are your favorites? Who were your favorites? And it's okay to say if you really enjoyed one loft tour over another, or um, who were your favorites, or who have we introduced you to that maybe you didn't know of, and you're like super impressed, and perhaps maybe next year you might be interested in purchasing off them. Let us know your thoughts. We're interested to know what you guys like, right? Because it's not what Ryan likes. It's not really the point here. It's what you guys like as well, right?
Yeah, and this is why we're always going to constantly be bringing in new people. You're going to see people rotate in and rotate out, and if you don't see someone back next season, it's not that we don't think they're good. We have to rotate things. You have to bring people in, move people around. Um, you will also see that Leah on our Feathers Elite page, she's posting up breeders' results. Okay.
Oh,
And,
yes, I am. Yep, I have been trying my best to do that. Yep.
and guys, there's a reason why we're doing that. We don't tell you they get great results. That's word salad. We're going to show you. We're going to show you they get good results. And I've seen the Formula One results, Paul McAlone's results. What's the Chris? Come on,
I have a
uh,
hard time with the last name. Claboot?
Cabela.
I don't know. I'm bad with the last names.
Chris Cabela. I'm bad with the last names. That's okay. You've seen his results. Guy Van den Aura, his results. You're going to slowly see more and more and more and more results because, guys, that's the proof right there. And that's why we represent these breeders. They have the pigeons that win today. And that's what you're looking for, especially here in North America. I'm going to tell you, you want to win in North America, you have to come at it with different pigeons. And in my opinion, these European pigeons are on a level that it's incredible. It's an incredible pigeon world over there.
It sure is. Stan wants to know what parts of Mexico are you going to go to in the next season? As you guys know, we do have a new Fepa logo and a new Fepa website for Mexico. What are our plans in Mexico, Ryan? I'm just going to grab a drink. I'll be right back, and you tell Stan what the plan is.
First, you got to walk before you can run. I'm eventually going to be hosting an auction in Mexico. I have to find the right spot in Mexico to go. I want to do some loft tours in Mexico. I want to go see it, get the feel of it, sort of learn the lay of the land a little bit, introduce myself, and then see where that goes. That's sort of how that's going to really work. Again, it took us 4 seasons to get to Europe to start doing some work. I don't think it's going to take that long for Mexico. I'm hoping maybe this season or next season we will be in Mexico for either season 5, but for sure by season 6 we will be in Mexico. Uh, and that's the plan. The plan is to to take what we know here at Feathers Elite and our breeders, what they know and what their birds can do, and move them throughout the world, right? Where we can get them. I mean, I'd love to go to the Philippines. Can I? I don't know. I'd love to go to Kuwait and Dubai. I'd love to do that. I'd love to go to Australia. We're going to go to the UK. We're going to go to America. We're in Canada. We're in Europe. So we're slowly creeping out. But again, crawl, walk, run.
Inch by inch.
Crawl, walk,
Don
run.
Meredith says, love the long and super long distance birds, personal preference. Good to know, Don. Thank you for the input. Henry says, I like that every loft visit Ryan visited, they all bake the cake differently. There you go. And this is, I think, something that Ryan has been preaching about at the Pioneer over and over again. You know, everybody bakes their cake differently. And that's great that Henry picked up on that. Watch the tours and recognize that there's no real right or wrong way to do this. There are general themes, sure, that they all follow, but they all do it differently. And it's okay if you're doing it differently. Do what works for you. But it's great to be able to pick up tips from these guys. And it's great that we do see they all bake their cake different.
Yeah, and maybe when we have Annemie on, Annemie Van He, you've got her grandfather, her father, and her, and only she knows what her grandfather and father did. But I wonder if I asked her, and this is going to be a question, how much different was your father and your grandfather? She'll say, well, I'm sure she's going to say, oh, he was a little different in this way, as is, there's different ways. And even in your own family, there's different ways. So, guys, remember, like we say, when flying pigeons, find the way that's going to work for you. Make sure you're having fun and pick up tips there's same little tips. There's same little tips. And you have to find those tips in their stories. And I can watch stories and that's the same tip, that's the same tip, that's the same tip, that's the same. And you hear sometimes 5 times the same tip from 5 different guys. And hey, there's something to that tip.
Les Gerard says the Lear market was good. We love the Lear market. Ryan loves going there. Just the experience of it, to know that this has been happening, every Sunday in the spring for the past 100 years. To see the men and the women out there with their baskets, I don't. It's just a very special experience, and I highly recommend it. If you can get over there, go to the Lear Market.
It was funny, but you talk to people, and there's big names that have been there selling. Gaston Vandenauer, he was there. He was selling birds there 10, 15, 20 years ago. Uh, Stefan Bergman, Sabrina Bergman, they sold birds there. Okay, those are two of the biggest lofts. They used to sell birds there. One round, one weekend, they would go and sell. That's a legendary spot. That's a historical spot. And the people that put that market on for those 4 weekends, I'm sure it's a bit of a job, and I'm sure a lot of people on the outside don't like it. But I will tell you, every time I go on that time of year, I will spend that one Sunday, at least one, and go and see it and experience it, because you get the tingles.
Tracy's saying Cone Van Zorn is a fan favorite. Oh, he is great, from a great family. We're hoping to bring Alfred over. I probably shouldn't give too much away, but this fall, in North America, we will be hosting several live events throughout Canada and the United States, and we're going to bring some of the Europeans over to meet you, as well as Ryan is going to go over to Europe again. But Alfred Combe Van Zoren, he has a definite interest in coming over to North America. He wants to meet all you guys. He's feeling the love, and we're excited, and we're hoping to make that happen. We would love to have him come over, whether it's at a live event in Toronto or perhaps New Jersey. Chicago is one of them we're thinking of. Florida is another one. So lots of exciting things happening this fall. Get back to the comments here. Phil says Emil Denny was the tops for me among many toppers. Are most of these breeders you visited full-time pros? Great question.
Um, no, there. I mean, Emil Denny. We can use Emil. He's been a pro his whole life. That's all he ever did was pigeons. He was lucky enough, but there's not. No, not
I'd say
all
it's
of them are
half.
professionals.
I'd say it's
Not
60
not even
40,
half.
maybe 70 30.
I would say 70-30. Even the people who aren't pros, they are almost like it's kind of like it's like having a part-time job, but they still make it a full-time job. Imagine having a regular 9 to 5 and then saying, I'm going to go work at Kmart or Walmart, but I'm going to give it 150% and be there 7 days a week for another 7 hours, 8 hours a day. You know,
Christmas Cactus asking, does Ryan want to come to China with me? I know a lot of Chinese top fanciers there, by the way. Is China in your sights, Ryan?
you know what have I learned in this hobby or business or in life? I think it's in life. It's not in a business. It's in life. Don't close a door. Why should I close the door? It's so you're gonna get way farther if you open the door, right? You never know what's behind that door. That's why when I seen Yan Hoymans open the door, hey Yan, how's it going? I'm Ryan, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. I opened the door, right? Shook his hand. Next thing you know, there you're starting to make moves. Emil Denny's. How did we find Emil Denny's? I was at the Fugare show, and I went in and I introduced myself. And boy, my knees were shaking. There's a legend, right? But you have to go. You have to open the doors. Do I want to? I want to go to China. I want to go to Trinidad. I want to go to Cuba, Mexico, uh, Kuwait, Dubai, Australia. I don't use the word no or can't. It's going to be yes, we're going to do it. We're going to go slow and we're going to get there.
And if I can just interrupt here, the world is a big place, and there are many top fanciers throughout the world. And unfortunately, I think we only kind of bring maybe a little bit of Europe, a little bit of United States, or whatever. I would really like to show and showcase pigeon racing throughout the world and really show everybody, how it's done in China or how it's done in Mexico and open the world up. We all have one thing in common and that is that we love pigeon racing, right? But it's always interesting to see how it's done in other countries. I think it brings us closer together as pigeon fanciers, and that's what Ryan and I are going to try and bring as best as we can. We have a question. How many years have you been raising racing birds? Ryan, how many years?
I'm turning 40 in May, and I was born in pigeon racing. I was basically born in a pigeon loft, and my sister there, Leah, she will attest to that. I've never not had pigeons. I've never were raised in it. Our background, we're a Belgian family, and pigeons has been every day, 7 days a week for 40 years.
All day, every day, 24/7. We were born into it. Damien, would you say, all in all, it's a hen sport now, Ryan? I.e., seems like hens are doing 95% of the big wins? Great question.
I think as everything evolves and the sport evolves, uh, people have learned maybe that the hens they're a little bit more consistent. They rebound quicker. I think hens handle stress differently. They're just a different pigeon. I you will still win with cocks. I think you have to know what a cockbird will give you and how much you can take from a cock. I think you get super results from cocks, but I think hens will, from what I've learned, hens can give you maybe just 25% more. You know, I think a super cock is a super cock. I just think hens are hens and cocks are cocks, and it's what you can play with. Um, some of the loft tours, you see, they love the cocks. A lot of the loft tours, they love the hens because I think it's easier on you, and you get a little bit more. They're more forgiving. I think that's what it is. They're more forgiving, and they can take the punishment, and they're more forgiving, and they will give you their very, very best.
Emma Armstrong, want to give a big hello to you, a lovely couple that Ryan, by chance, met and spent an afternoon with. I know you really enjoyed your visit with the Armstrongs, Ryan.
Yes, Emma, I am coming over in. I don't want to say too much in October. I'm coming for a lunch for sure. You got to cook me a meal. That was a great day, and again, I got to thank Formula One for sending me over there. We are going to get in touch with you, Emma. I know you and your husband had some really good questions that we are working on, Leah and myself, uh, for North America and racing here. So we are going to get to you on that. We have not forgotten you, so be patient. But the Armstrongs, guys, if you go to the UK, go visit them. Great horse farm. What a pigeon colony they have. That's all I got to say about that.
Yes, we will be in the UK in October and in November. Shall I? Maybe I shouldn't say. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll save it for after. We will be in the UK in November for sure. We are very excited about some work that we're going to be doing in the UK. A couple live events, a live event and auctions that we have planned. We're super excited about it. So UK, we'll see you in October and November. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, we
I'm going
will
to
be
put
there.
this comment up. Unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish and I'm not quite sure, but I wanted to throw your comment up. Anyways, thank you very much for your participation, even though I can't understand it. Damien says, appreciate the reply. Anytime. That's why we're here. Guys, if you have questions, don't be shy. Stan says, the tips were superb. I learned a lot. Thank you. No problem. And guys, the tours aren't over, by the way. Ryan did film a bunch of tours that I'm getting to editing. This past Saturday, I published the tour of Kevin Zarafa, a breeder from the UK that we will be hosting an auction for coming up this fall. So I did do his loft tour once a week. I'm going to try on Saturdays to upload onto YouTube another one of the loft tours that Ryan has done that I have in the closet that I have to put together. So there's a lot more loft tours coming up, not to worry. Another thing that I wanted to let everybody know, if you don't know, if you missed a loft tour or you'd like to revisit a loft tour or you'd like information on our breeders and you don't want to go searching through YouTube, I am putting up a breeder directory. Let's get this up here so I can show everybody on our website, feathersleypigeonauctions.com or fepa.ca, fepaeu.com, fepauk.com, however it is that you get there. On our website, if you scroll down, you're going to see right at the top the first little listing here, FEPA Breeder Directory. If you click on View Auction, I am in the process of uploading all of our breeders that we represent. And if you are interested in maybe learning more about, let's just say, Emil Denny, if you click on his photo, it will give you information on Emil, some of his key breeders. If you scroll down, I have uploaded his loft tour here. So it's kind of just all of our breeders in one spot. Now, yes, there are only 10 of them up there right now. I got a whole whack to do, probably like another 20 or so to do. But this is where you're going to find everybody all in one place. So hopefully that is going to help everybody out. So keep checking back because more will be uploaded as I get to it. Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff there. And follow along. We're going to have different breeders, UK breeders, American breeders, Belgian breeders, Dutch breeders, and breeders that you haven't even seen before. We're going to bring them on, people that are coming. And, just follow along and ask your questions. And as I say, enjoy the ride. This show only works with these breeders because they're giving it to you, right?
Right.
We're the vessel. They're coming on. Guys, take advantage while you can because, hey, you never know.
Well, no, exactly. Johnny is asking, how about going to the Philippines? Sure, why not?
I'd love to go to the Philippines. I guess, as I said with Mexico, before we do any work there, you got to go, you got to visit, you have to see how everything is working. I know pigeon racing in the Philippines is huge, uh, and it's somewhere where I would like to go. Same like talking with Emil Denny's about going to Thailand and Taiwan. Um, if that opportunity is there in the Christmas time, that's where probably I'm going to go because how can you say no? How can I say no to it for you guys? I got to go for you guys. So you guys see this world. I hear about the world, but seeing is believing.
No, absolutely. And we're fortunate, you're fortunate enough, Ryan, that you don't have a wife and kids and tied down to a family, and you are able to do the traveling for the rest of us who perhaps have to stay home and you know get on with life. So I mean, that's what I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed being able to watch all these tours and learn about all these breeders from the comfort of my own home, right? Especially in these times when people are unsure about travel.
And it's so funny. As I say, there are times when I couldn't remember tours that I had done because I don't watch the tours. I tape them, we edit them, and it's a weird thing. I mean, if I seen someone doing it, I would watch. I'd be like, okay, well, this is cool, but I do them and I don't. It's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? It's like one day, Leah, I'm gonna just have a drink and sit down and go. I'm gonna watch this Emil Denny's Loft Tour or Anna Goshen or no, because you can't do everything. And
Yeah, no,
I'm
you
saying to
haven't
these people,
watched.
thank you for watching because one day I'm gonna catch up to you guys.
Well, you lived it, so you don't really need to watch it because you were the one who was actually there. So you get a pass. You get a pass. Guys, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. This is just going to be a little short show to touch base with everybody, to regroup and let everybody know moving forward this summer what we're going to be doing. You're going to be seeing us, well, you'll be seeing Ryan along with his special guests, and you'll be hearing me every Wednesdays at noon Eastern time, where we can all meet together and stay on top of our breeders and touch base with them. I don't want to just get in touch with them when it's auction season. I think it's nice to keep that relationship going throughout the season and check in with them and see how they're doing.
Yeah, 100%. And we've also had I've had numerous people ask, "Oh, I'd love to go with you. I'd like to come with you." Um, on that note, I think possibly coming this season, we might have a small tour that we're going to put together. Uh, we've had so many people ask to come and visit us and follow us, and can you take me to these breeders, and can we go, and can we do this? And we want to put something together that way. Again,
We
we're
are
only two
definitely,
people,
yeah, yeah, we are
but
definitely interested. We've talked about it actually for the last few years about putting together a tour, a European tour where we bring people from wherever. I don't care where you're from. We meet in Europe. Ryan's going to take, on a 10-day, maybe 10. I think 10 days perfect. I don't know, 14 days might get a little long. A 10-day tour, a small group, meaning like 6 people maybe or less. I don't know. A small intimate group to try it out for our first tour. It's definitely something that we're thinking of, but it will be small, it will be intimate.
it will be professional.
Right.
I'm going to say you have to keep things very small and tight and intimate, because when you go to these breeders, I want everyone to feel the way I feel when I get to go there. I can talk to them, and I don't want to have 20 people and you never get to even say hi to the guy, you know, or the people. I want you guys to get the full experience, and less is always more. So yeah, it won't be a very big group, um, but what we do put out, it will be a super solid and fun experience.
And FYI, guys, this tour that Ryan did, that's not the first time that he's been over there doing tours. This is like your, I want to say, fifth time over there. Fifth,
Jeez,
fourth,
I can't.
fourth
Third,
or
fourth,
fifth
fourth.
time. Fourth or fifth time. So Ryan's kind of like a not a pro, but he knows where to go and what to do now. He's kind of got his sea legs, so you'd be in good hands.
And it's even knowing, it's a silly thing. I was there for 73 days. That means basically I hit 73, at least 30 different hotels. And when you put together a trip, you got to find the right stuff, the right hotels, the right restaurants, the right towns, the right breeders, the right transportation. You got to do all that little research before you put it together. So, as I say, everything is an audition, and you're trying different things. Because when we do a tour for those 6 or 8 or 10 people, whatever the number is, I want you guys to come out of there saying, "Wow, what a pigeon trip we were on! It was pigeons and more.
Right,
It's got to be both. I can't do pigeons. Pigeons ain't going to work. It's got to be pigeons and more. And what's
right.
more? That's the magic."
Magic. Andre says, we watched each and every one of your interviews, tips, and tours and feel like part of a new pigeon family. Andre, that is awesome. Welcome to the Feathers Elite family. There's always a place at our table for you. Artolia. I probably said that wrong. Sorry about that. It's a stressful job, Ryan. Thank you for all the info and videos. You did a great show for all of us. Thank you very much, Dave Wood. We answered this earlier, but Dave, perhaps you were not tuned in. Not a problem. Any news on importing auction birds? The news is Ryan and I are in the works. We're talking with the CFIA. We're getting the paperwork down pat, so we won't have an issue when we do bring them in. As soon as we know, you will know. But yes, we have been working on it ever since Ryan got back, so we will let you know. Damien, did you meet many long distance fanciers that believe the most important food is the feed in the basket, i.e., feed light before the basket so they eat good in the basket?
I think when birds, for the long distance races, I mean, you can take Barcelona. When you're in a basket for 5 days, you're gonna they feed. I think it's a lot of normal, right? I don't think you starve them. Once they get in the basket, they're going to eat. Pigeons eat, eat, eat. Uh, but everyone has their little feeding tips and little tricks that they do, light to heavy. Again, they're moving away from the pure mixes. They're going to more of a detox mix. It's not as heavy as the pure like you used to see. And you even see in the mixes, they're not those heavy big mixes anymore. The mixes are getting a little lighter, but better grains. I think, and someone said to me, Stuart said to me, I see what guys feed, and they feed antique roadshow corn. And I thought that was the best thing I'd ever heard. So it's like we would say off manager Richard, antique roadshow corn.
Antique
I
roadshow
just
corn.
it was one of the funniest things where I was having a Jupiter and it almost come right out of my mouth.
Speaking of Feathersleep breeders, want to say a big hello to Macaroni Pigeons. Nice to see you on, friends. Ryan, go ahead.
Yes, and believe it or not, guys, I tried to get to Paul for a sit down interview. I wanted to talk to Paul about the Titan games that he puts out there for the UK. My car had a flat tire that day, so I couldn't get to Paul. But Paul is exactly one of these breeders that we're going to have on with me as a friend, and we're going to talk pigeons. And guys, you can ask him the questions. We're going to see how his season's going. But Paul McAloney is a definite one of those guys. We're going to ask him about the Titan games. And guys, doesn't mean he's going to be on once. He might be on multiple times. And same with different breeders. We could have them on multiple times. We want you guys to feel comfortable with them and get personal and ask questions and be a part of it.
Michael Peebler says, if you're going to have the draw names for the tour, put mine right now in the hat. Michael Peebler is ready to go to Europe. We're ready to take you, Michael. I think it would be an amazing experience for anybody who came. Go ahead, Ryan.
And again, as I say, when we go on a tour, uh, my job is to take you guys around, and it won't be me photographing and doing auction stuff.
Auction
It's
work.
going to be
No. Yeah.
there's no auction part of that. It's just you guys, and we're going to go visit the lofts that we select. And people ask me, well, what kind of lofts are you going to select? We're going to select big names, medium names, maybe names you haven't heard of, long distance or long distance, extreme long distance, middle distance, sprint. Are you going to get a show involved? Absolutely. And here's the other thing. You don't have to be Canadian, American, anywhere in the world. When we put this up, everyone is welcome. It will be a first come, first serve. We want to bring people together. And all I ever ask is, guys, come with an open mind, think outside the box. And for one thing, smile. Smile.
And have some fun. Les Gerard is asking, what mix do they give birds in the basket over the day before releasing them?
They're normally given lots of fats, fatty feeds. Your energy mixes, um, like that. Carbs and fats. Pigeons. You're not going in there with proteins. It's the fats. Pigeons need the fats and the corns. There's the man right there. There's one of them. There's a guy I'd take you guys to visit.
Alfred from Combe Van Zoren Racing Pigeons from the Netherlands. Nice to see you on, friend. So next week we're going to have our first guest on, and I think the way we're going to do this is obviously it's going to be a Feathersleep breeder that we're going to bring on. I will say who we're going to bring on next week, so that will give maybe our audience an opportunity to perhaps go and revisit that breeder's loft tour, that breeder's sit down question and answer, and maybe you guys can watch that this week. That's your homework. And then next week when we have the breeder on, if you have questions based on the loft tour or what you saw on the loft tour that you didn't get a chance to ask him while we had their auction running, you can use next Wednesday as an opportunity to ask the breeder questions that you might have had about their loft tour or their pigeons. So, without further ado, I will announce next week's special guest on the Feathers Elite Wednesday noon show. Ryan and Friends will be drum roll. Maybe I should do the drum roll. Damn it! I gotta
Do
get
the
these. I gotta get the drum roll. Our first victim. Our good friend John Gladwin from Formula One Lofts. He will be on with us next Wednesday for about an hour, and we will sit down and talk to him just very casually, ask him questions. So, guys, you've got a week to revisit the Formula One Loft Tour and get your questions ready for next week for John, our first victim. He was our first victim in the tour. He was the first auction breeder that we did, and it just so happens that he's going to be our first on Wednesday, Fepa at noon. John Gladwin. That's right. We love John. He's fantastic.
I couldn't start with a better guy. He's easy going. I'm sure you'll have a pint with him. I'll have to have one with him. Uh, yeah, John, Formula One, what a stand-up guy. And I have to thank him again for not only being our first European stop, that was great, but I want to thank him for taking me to the Golden Doif, introducing me to people. Man, he introduced me to a lot of good people. And what a well-respected pigeon man in the community. Everyone likes him. First class in my books.
Absolutely. So he will be on next week, next Wednesday at noon. So you can enjoy your lunch. If you're watching, if you're in North America and it's your lunch hour, put us on. If you're over in Europe, it's dinner time, put us on. Let's come together. Let's talk racing pigeons. Let's create a little supportive environment. And guys, we want to hear about your top results too. So if you had any top results last weekend or next weekend, let us know. We're all here to support each other and give everybody a pat on the back and a round of applause because, as I said, pigeon racing is tough. And it sure is nice when we're able to come together as a little support group and talk about it and support each other because that's what this is all about, right? Having fun, making friends, right? Right?
That's what it's all about. It's all about learning. And I don't care if you've had pigeons 40 years or 100 years, you will still learn. If you want to learn, use your ears, listen, and you will learn things. That's how you get better. You don't know everything. And in this sport, once you think you know something, pigeons go and teach you a whole new thing.
They sure do. Alfred says next weekend, Alfred, we want to hear about your results. You're already having a bang up season. I know Alfred will be in Romania in August. The Olympiad, that's some new news that I just read, will be in August. Kind of weird that they're doing it in August, right during race season. But I guess because of COVID and it's been postponed for 2 years, that I guess they had no choice but to do it in the summertime. I just wonder
Yeah,
what I wonder what kind of turnout they're going to get, seeing as it's like kind of like smack dab right in the middle of race season.
yeah. I think that the thing about the awards is I think you have to send the Olympiad pigeons there to actually to win. Like they have to go. But that's something we'll have to have Alfred on to ask what, like, because I know Olympic Henny has to go there. She has to go. There's no not going. So
She
I
has to
have
go to
to,
get her award. She goes to get her award, right?
yeah. But
Yeah, weird.
I don't understand like what happens if you. I think if you don't send your bird, you don't get the award.
Well, there's quite a few awards that have to be given out. I think they missed, I think there's a whole bunch of awards that have to be given out. Anyway, interesting that it's in August. Will you get over there? I don't know. Probably not because it's right during our race season too. Which maybe is another thing. I just want to let you guys know if you're interested in seeing Ryan work with his own birds, you can follow us along at the Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club of Ontario Facebook page, where Ryan will be running a one loft race live all summer long. So, auction friends, if you want to see how Ryan does what Ryan's learned from his European tour and the tips and tricks, you're going to be able to see it in action over at the Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club of Ontario where we run a one loft race. If you're wondering what do we do in the summer, and if you don't know, we run a one loft race here in North America, which we're kind of busy doing now. So if you want to watch, he's on every day over at the Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club and on our YouTube channel. You can watch him work the birds. Speaking of our victim, there he is, our friend John Gladwin. We were just letting everybody know, John, that you will be on the show next week. And we were encouraging everybody to head on over to our YouTube channel or our auction site and see your loft tour. And maybe they're going to have some questions for you next week, John.
I would have the questions up because I'll tell you one thing about John. He is one hell of an open book All he wants is people to succeed. He wants the sport to grow. Remember, guys, this sport, for it to succeed, we need the youth, we need the young people. So if there's a young person that comes to you, help him out. Take him under your wing, give him good advice. And if you don't have that right advice for him or you're kind of new, don't get him towards somebody that knows. Help him out because we need to build.
I know we were talking earlier, John, probably before you joined us, because somebody was asking about what is the percentage of breeders that we visited who are professional, meaning they do it for a full-time job, or race and also have a full-time job. And John Gladwin is one of those guys who races professionally and has a full-time job, a very busy full-time job, and he's able to do it all. So, guys, if you have questions on how John Gladwin does it all, ask him next Wednesday how he finds that balance between work and he has kids. Sorry, I got a barker. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Teresa's wife, she's a big part of that. And you guys can ask questions. Hey, how do I get my significant other into the loft? How do you bring somebody in? John's a guy you might want to ask that question to. But guys, again, the show will work the best if you participate. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And if you are shy to ask a question, you've got the whole week. Send us a message. Hey, could you please ask John this? And I'll ask it. Okay. If you're shy and you don't want to post your question, let us know and we will ask the question for you.
Alfred from Combe Van Zoren, he's not shy. He says he'd like to do a co-breeding with John. John, Alfred, make that connection. Let's see it happen. I'd love to see that. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, guys, and this is what we talk about. This is what we talk about. There's a super flyer in the Netherlands, Alfred Van Zoren, super. He is an Olympiad ace pigeon. He's won it. He's won a national. He's won it. He's the only guy in all of the Netherlands to do this. There's a winner. John Gladwin, super winner. Super winner. You see? To put forces together, not afraid to ask. Opens a door. Opens the door. Good job. And that's what we want to see. We want to bring our top breeders together as well.
And by the way, fun fact, Olympic Henny is ranked third best pigeon in the entire world. Alfred, you are on fire. Round of applause.
I'm getting goosebumps because you know what? I was so lucky to handle her. Uh, and I have to thank Alfred. What an opportunity that was to represent a direct child on a year that she won it. I mean, isn't that not? That's a, that's the best of the best right there.
Oh, absolutely. David Tracy, it took 40 years to get Sherry interested in pigeon racing, and hats off to the Pioneer family. You got her hooked. Thank you. Really? She just started? I thought she was doing it along with you for a long. That is amazing. Man, does that make me feel good. We're so happy to have her at part of it. That's amazing. Wow.
You, you know, guys, I'll always say people are like kids or anything. If they're having fun, they're going to get more interested. They're going to get more interested. So if you have a partner, you know, don't give her the scraper and scrape. Be a part of the team. You know, have some fun. Baby step it to fun. Baby step it to fun. And you know what? If something doesn't go right, don't yell at your partner. Have some fun. When you're having fun, you're going to like it a lot more. And then you get a little bit more serious, a little bit more serious, a little bit more serious, and you're still having fun.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Tracy says 40 years, that's Ryan's lifetime. Yes, it is. A reminder, everybody, Ryan will be the big 4-0, May 29th. Welcome to the club, bud. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap this up. This was a great little touch base. Great to see everybody on, familiar faces, new faces, comments, suggestions. This is going to be a great show. I'm excited about this moving forward. Ryan and I will be with you every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Belgian time, 5 o'clock UK time. I think I got all the time zones there. Anyway, so join us next week. with our special guest, John Gladwin. In the meantime, guys, make sure you check out the John Gladwin Loft Tour over on our auction site. Get your questions ready. Victim number one, John, next week. Wait, we have a question here. Uh, Mr. S. Brown and Son. Hey, Ryan, keeping well. Do you think you would ever do a video on photo editing?
Uh,
Well, we have done videos on photo taking and eye sign taking. Photo editing, it's kind of boring, but I don't know.
you know, photo editing is, you ask, what, I will do one on photo taking. I think that's the biggest trick. You can't edit a pigeon standing this way when you got to have a pigeon standing this way.
Right.
So you've got to know how to really get the birds in the right spot, line them up, turn the band right. I think photo editing is just getting on a computer and finding a program that works for you.
And tweaking and twerking and yeah.
Yeah, getting the head this way, everything right. That there is just putting time in on a computer
Well, not
and
to
finding.
mention, it's subjective based on what kind of editing software you have yourself, what kind of system you're running, what kind of computer you're running, what kind of camera equipment you're running. I mean, it's all subjective. So we can show you photo editing from our standpoint, but it's probably not going to mean a whole lot to you if you don't have the same software. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's the same thing with taking photos. If you don't have the right cameras, the right lenses, the right stuff, you don't see it the right way. And you have to, everything with taking photographs of pigeons is patience, and editing is the same way. If you're not in the right frame of mind, you are not going to do a good job at it.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, comparing our photographs compared to perhaps something that you would take on your own, you have to understand this is our business, right? So we've got the lighting and the expensive camera and the things just don't look the same when you're trying to replicate it with like maybe your phone camera or so don't get frustrated, guys. Remember, we do this, this is our business, right? We have to make it look
Yeah,
good.
and I will tell you, if you take, just I can show my knapsack next week. Just the knapsack that I wore was, I think, almost 50 pounds, 46 pounds. There had to have been in there maybe $8,000 worth of camera equipment. That didn't include all the lights I took. That didn't include the photo box I took. You're probably looking at it in camera equipment close to $10,000, and that's no joke.
And that doesn't include the drone, which I'm so happy you didn't either A, crash or B, get stolen.
But you guys know, and we talk, we and myself, we're always saying, oh, we got to get this better. Oh, we got to get that better. Oh, take a look at this backdrop.
Yep.
You know,
Inch by inch, it just takes time and money. And anyway, we're getting there. Alfred, can you also make a website for me in English, of course? Alfred, of course. And that's another thing. Feathers Lead Auction Breeders, if you're watching, if you need help with something, putting something together, an advert for yourself, a website, something, if English isn't your first language and you'd like to have something written up in English, I'm no English expert, but I do speak it and read it fluently. And I'm always here to help. We're always here to help you guys. So, Feathers Elite Breeders, you got us on your team. You need help with anything, shoot us a line. We're always here to help you. Of course, Alfred,
and
of course.
same thing. If someone needs photos done of their birds, they want their whole loft photographed, let us know. Again, it's first come, first serve, and we don't. It doesn't work like that. But if you're patient, we are willing, to go to your loft. I've already had a few people say, "Can you come over and photograph 150 birds?" We'll give you a price, and that's what we do.
Tracy's asking, did your special light bulb survive the trip?
It's funny. I wish I had it on here today, but my original light bulb, I carried it with me blown the whole way. It was blown, and I carried it with me. I still have it. The one that May's got, I kept it with me. The only thing that would be in that gray bag that you ever seen me carry was the light bulbs wrapped in bubble wrap. The light bulbs always stayed with me. They wouldn't go on a plane. They didn't go in a knapsack. Nothing. Because
So,
without light
yeah.
bulbs, you're screwed.
Yeah, we didn't have any catastrophes. Well, you had one blown crock and you had one flat tire.
Yeah, one
Isn't that
blown
it?
light bulb.
And one
Things
blown light
happen
bulb.
in threes.
Yeah. And that was it. That was really the worst thing was the flat tire, I'd say. Well, the light bulb
Yeah.
could have been the worst thing, but May pigeons came to our rescue.
Yeah, I was so scared because I started thinking to myself, well, I guess I'm going to have to photograph when the sun's out. And, as soon as I went there and the weather was absolutely beautiful pretty much the entire time. But if that light bulb, I didn't find one, I guarantee you that trip would have been overcast the whole time.
Oh, probably. Because that's just the way it works. Anyway, we've rambled on enough. We want to thank you guys so much for joining us on this first edition of Ryan and Friends Wednesday at noon. Join us next Wednesday with John Gladwin. And guys, if you have great results, let us know. Feathers Elite Breeders, if you're watching, if you get results, please make sure you tag us so we can share it with our audience. Want to wish you guys a great week. If you're racing this Saturday, good luck to all of you who are racing. We can't wait to hear all about your great results. Anything else you want to say, Ryan?
No, and thank you guys for coming for the ride. Thank the breeders. It was a great time, and this is going to be a great show. And why didn't I do a wrap up? Well, it's quite simple. We're not ending. We keep going. We're opening the next door, bringing our breeders along, bringing you guys along. So enjoy this ride. Always remember when you sit down and watch, pour yourself a drink of coffee, a tea, have a sandwich, get on your keyboards, enjoy, ask those questions. Remember, this show works absolutely the best when you participate. And please go to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe. Share it to all your pigeon friends. Share it to somebody that has greyhounds, horses, or into just sports in general. Subscribe to them, send it to them, get them on board. You never know. There's a lot of pigeon flyers out there that we haven't found yet, and it's our job all together to find them. Leah, wrap her up.
I'm Leah. That's Ryan. We're from Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. Guys, keep on promoting this sport and let's try and replace ourselves to make this sport grow. We will see you next Wednesday. Thanks for flying with us.
Bye for now.